Yo, what's up guys? It is Josh with the Preset Bros, and today I'm going to show you how to make a saucy lead in the style of BAYNK like this. Alrighty guys, so that was the sound we'll be working on today, and PS, if you want more sounds like this, we do have a whole website full of high quality sounds, so definitely go check that out. And without any further ado, let's just jump in. Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and solo that sound really quick. So just super simple, really clean, has a nice vibe, and I don't know if you notice, I actually have the same instance of that sound come in right here. And it just really adds a nice texture, so together, this is both of them. So just getting a little creative here, just had the same exact sound, just shifting it at a different octave, playing it at a different time. Just usually I would reach for probably a different sound anytime I'm layering something, but I was just kind of having fun, and I really like how it came out. So let's go ahead and get into the actual sound design. Alrighty guys, so kicking it off, we have oscillator A, and we have it on analog BD sine. We have the wavetable position at 31, -1 on the octave, and the level at 67%, and that is it. Now, we are sending this oscillator into the filter over here, and for the filter, we have an MG low 18, and it's just kind of trimming off some of those highs, and the cutoff is at 145 hertz. We have the res at 19%, the drive at 22%. Don't forget to check that A, and let's move along. So that was the tonality of the sound. Let's go ahead and get into the actual movement, and I got a few things going on. So I'm utilizing the envelopes here, and if you notice, envelope 2 is actually modulating the cutoff, which we'll get to that in a second. Let's start with envelope 1. For envelope 1, I have the tack at 41 milliseconds, the decay at 287 milliseconds, and the sustain at -11.5 with a little bit of release of 330 milliseconds. So envelope 2 is really what's bringing the sound out. I have a similar setup here. I got 25 milliseconds on the attack, 345 milliseconds on decay, 25% on sustain, and then again a little bit of release at 362 milliseconds. Now we are taking this envelope and modulating the cutoff here, and the reason we're doing that is it's just kind of whipping it open. If I were to turn off this modulation, we can go ahead and listen. So it's just sitting at that 145 hertz, but when we activate this, it's going to whip it up all the way up into this frequency, and let's give it a listen now. So it just really brings the sound alive, and because it is whipping it, it gives the sound dynamic as well. So moving on to envelope 3, we do have a few modulations happening as well, but they're going on in the effects section, so we'll get to that later on. For right now, let's focus on the shape. It's kind of like this triangle with a bowed side. For the attack, nothing unusual, the same, 0.5 milliseconds. Decay right up the middle, 990. The sustain is really what we changed. We pulled it back to 11.76%, and then we did tack on a little bit of release at 120 milliseconds. So the envelope section was kind of how I was shaping the sound. Let's move to the LFO section where I'm actually giving the sound a unique kind of analog vibe and texture. So for LFO 1, I am modulating the fine tune over here, and I'm modulating it by 25-ish, and I have this shape going on, and then I just have it on a low hertz setting of 0.8. Make sure you check the BPM off so it gives you the ability to set that. And all this is doing is it's just kind of wiggling the sound in and out of tune, so it's not in perfect tune. Just like any instrument, if I'm playing a guitar, it's never going to stay exactly in perfect tune. The strings are always going to kind of get out of tune, and you're going to have to retune it. And so by doing this, it just gives it that real instrument kind of vibe. With LFO2, I'm kind of messing around with the velocity a little bit. I am modulating the volume here on the level, and I'm modulating it by 14, and it's bipolar, so it's going back and forth just like the fine tune over here. And what that's doing is it's just kind of keeping the sound not consistent volume wise. So sometimes the sound's going to be a little louder, sometimes it's going to be less loud, and it's just changing that velocity and just keeping it less consistent. Anytime you want your sounds to sound more analog, you want to make them less consistent, because the more consistent they are, the more digital they're going to sound. So that's just another trick. As far as the settings, I have the rate a little faster at 4.9 hertz, and I have, remember, the BPM unchecked, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and jump into the effects section. First things first, we're kicking it off with some distortion, and I went with the hard clip setting. I have the drive knob at 52% and the mix at 25%. And earlier I mentioned envelope 3 was modulating some things, and these are the parameters it is modulating. So the drive knob, it's modulating by 39%, and the mix knob, it's modulating by 21%. And all that's doing is it's giving it just a little bit more distortion on the initial hit. If you look at the actual shape of the envelope, it's in a plucky shape, so it's not lasting the whole time the sound is playing. It's just that first initial hit that you're hearing that. So next, guys, we have some chorus, and this is just getting the sound some width, and you'll notice the mix knob is turned down all the way, but I am modulating it over here in the macro section just by 25%, so you can translate that to this knob. You don't have to set it up that way, that's just how I have it. Next, we have a little bit of delay, and I have my feedback at 15%. I went with the ping pong setting, 1/8 and 1/8, and then I kind of honed in on those upper frequencies right there. I have the mix knob at 30%. I finally finished the sound off with some reverb, and again I have the same thing going on with the macro knob over here. I have it at 26%, but over here the mix knob is turned down, so however you want to set that up, you can go ahead and just copy these settings, and that reverb is just giving it that space. You don't want to ever wash out your sounds, especially a lead. You want them still to punch through the mix a little bit, but it just kind of reinforces that atmosphere and not making it sound so dry and like standing out that much. So anyways, guys, that wraps up the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you got inspired. Just a really simple but really powerful, cool sound. BAYNK is kind of known for that simplicity. If you listen to a lot of his songs, it can be really more on the simple side, but he does his elements so well. And the more I'm actually learning about music is I used to just throw everything under the sun into a song, but asking yourself the question on each sound, is this making or breaking the song? Is this absolutely necessary to add in? And if it's not, I'll remove it. And then the elements that are left over, I do them with excellence. And so you have simple songs that are just so powerful because everything is just done really well. And so I feel that I could put this sound in that category along with this style of music. So definitely don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And again, if you want to check out any of our packs that have all kinds of sounds and all different genres, all the packs are $4.99. So the price of a coffee, very reasonable. Definitely go click the link down below and head to our website. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all had a great new year, and stay creative.